All right, so today we're looking at something pretty interesting.
Yeah.
We're asking the question,
Yeah.
what does $120,000
$120,000.
$120,000 get you in the world of electric motorcycles?
In the electric motorcycle world?
We're diving deep into
That's a good question.
the Curtis One.
Yes.
It's this futuristic machine that's
A futuristic bike.
generating a lot of buzz. And I think as much for its
Yeah.
crazy design as
Much for the design as the price tag, for sure.
as for the price tag, right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
we've got an article here titled
Okay.
Curtis One, the futuristic electric motorcycle pushing boundaries, $120,000.
Right.
And for you, the listener,
Mm-hmm.
our mission is to really kind of like break down what makes this thing tick.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
you know, is
it worth it?
it worth it? Is it
Yeah.
a genuine revolution on two wheels,
Yeah.
or is it just an expensive statement piece?
Is it all hype?
Okay, so the article starts off,
Okay.
and it's really, you know, they're not holding back at all.
Right.
They're saying this is a game changer.
Okay.
This is not just another electric bike.
They're making some bold claims.
They're talking about cutting-edge technology, futuristic design,
Yeah.
and a level of performance that's, you know,
Yeah.
second to none.
So right off the bat, they're putting it out there
They're not.
that this is the best.
They're not mincing words.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's interesting to me, too, is the way they talk about who this is for.
Okay.
This is not for your average rider.
Gotcha.
This is,
Your commuter bike.
they say it's built for those who demand the best.
Interesting.
And it represents a bold step forward in electric mobility.
So they're going for that high-end market,
They are.
the luxury buyer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're already kind of
Yeah.
in the realm of
Then the luxury realm.
the very, the top tier of
Yeah.
electric motorcycle engineering.
The pinnacle.
So let's get into it.
Okay.
Let's start with what powers this thing.
All right.
We're looking at dual electric motors
Okay.
with a combined output of 125 kilowatts.
125 kilowatts.
Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with kilowatts, that translates to about 167 horsepower.
Okay, so
Even for a traditional motorcycle.
that's a lot.
That's
Even for a gas-powered bike.
a lot of power.
167 horsepower.
And one of the big advantages of electric motors is that instant torque.
Instant torque, yeah.
So the article highlights that these dual motors
Yeah.
give you not only incredible acceleration, but this feeling of like enhanced control,
Interesting.
especially at higher speeds.
Oh.
It's all about that like smooth and seamless power delivery.
Yeah.
And to feed those power-hungry motors, the Curtis One has a pretty substantial battery.
Okay.
It's a 16.8 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery.
16.8 kilowatt hours.
And the article says this is one of the longest ranges for any electric motorcycle out there.
So they've got a big battery in there.
They do. We're talking about a claimed 250 miles on a single charge.
250 miles. Wow.
That's enough.
That's a game
So
changer.
really consider
That's a game changer.
longer rides.
Yeah.
It's not just your daily commute.
Not just a commuter bike.
No, 250 miles.
That's huge.
That's a big deal.
If you think about electric vehicles in general, range anxiety is a real thing.
Totally.
For a lot of people.
Especially for motorcycles.
Yeah, you don't want to be stuck on the side of the road with a dead battery.
On a motorcycle.
So 250 miles, that really opens up a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, you could take this thing on a road trip.
You could.
So
Yeah.
speaking of those shorter rides, or maybe not so short rides, the Curtis One has a top speed 170 miles an hour.
170 miles an hour.
Wow, that's as fast as some sports cars.
That's moving.
And we're talking about on two wheels,
Yeah,
powered by electricity,
that's pretty impressive.
and the acceleration
Okay.
0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds.
3.1 seconds.
You'd be leaving pretty much everybody
You're going to be smoking people off the line.
in the dust
Yeah.
at a stoplight.
For sure.
So those are some pretty impressive performance numbers.
Yeah, they're not messing around.
Whoa.
When they say unmatched performance.
And you can imagine that acceleration
Yeah.
from the electric motors
It's pretty exhilarating.
must be unlike anything.
Yeah, I mean, that instant torque
Yeah.
that electric motors provide.
It's got to be
Could be
something else.
uh,
Now, of course, eventually you are going to have to recharge this thing.
Of course.
So the Curtis One
Yeah.
offers an 8-hour charging time on a standard level 1 charger.
All right.
That's the kind you just plug into your wall outlet
At home.
at home.
Yeah.
But they also say the more practical solution for most owners
All right.
is going to be level 2 charging.
Okay.
And that brings the time down
That's
to
yeah.
a much more manageable 2 hours.
So 2 hours on level 2.
2 hours.
Okay.
Which is pretty good,
That's not bad at all.
especially compared to
Especially if you're out on a ride.
some other electric bikes out there
They'll stop for lunch.
that take quite a bit longer to recharge.
Yeah, 2 hours later, you're topped off and ready to go.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a huge advantage
Tell
over
you.
some of the other bikes.
All of this technology
Mhm.
is kind of held together
Yeah.
by a carbon fiber frame.
Carbon fiber.
Now, you often see carbon fiber
Okay.
in like Formula One cars
Right.
and high-end bicycles.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that.
It's strong. It's light.
It's incredibly lightweight.
Right.
But it's also super strong
Yeah.
and durable.
Yeah, very durable.
And the article mentions that this really contributes to the agility and handling
Lights in this.
of the bike.
Yeah.
And, lighter weight
Mm-hmm.
doesn't just mean
Yeah.
that it handles better,
Right.
but it also means
Less for the motors to move.
that it's
yeah.
potentially more energy efficient as well.
Exactly.
Because the motors have to work
Yeah. The less weight you have to carry around, the better.
less hard.
For efficiency, for handling, everything.
And then, of course, we can't ignore the price tag.
The elephant in the room.
We mentioned it right at the start.
$120,000.
$120,000.
Yeah.
It's worth repeating
It's a lot of money.
that this is
Yeah.
a completely
Flex
different
fiber cycle.
echelon
It is.
than most motorcycles,
Yeah. I mean, you can get
whether they're electric or gas powered.
a really nice motorcycle for a fraction of that price.
That price tag right away
Yeah.
tells you that this is
This is a luxury item.
about something
This is for a very specific buyer.
more
Yeah. This is not your average
than just getting around.
writer.
This is about exclusivity.
Right.
This is about making a statement.
It's a status symbol.
It's a status symbol for sure.
Absolutely.
So we've talked about kind of the headline numbers here.
Overview.
Let's dive a little deeper
Okay.
into some of the key features that the article highlights.
Right.
First up,
Yeah.
those dual electric motors.
Okay.
We've talked about the raw power,
Mm-hmm.
but they also talk about this
Right.
instant torque
Right.
and
Yeah.
how it gives you this enhanced control,
Yeah.
especially at high speeds.
Interesting. So
So
it's not just about going fast.
it's not just about going fast.
It's about being in control
It's about being in control.
at those high speeds.
It's about having that smooth and powerful ride,
Mhm.
no matter what speed you're at.
So they've really thought about the engineering of this bike.
And I'm
Okay.
wondering if part of that control comes from like a sophisticated torque vectoring system
That's possible.
where the bike is able to
Yeah.
adjust the power to each wheel
Yeah, where
you're independently
send more power to one wheel.
as you're leaning into a turn or
Or
something,
less power to the other
Exactly.
to help you maintain control.
which would make a lot of sense,
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
especially with that much power.
Yeah.
Then there's the advanced battery.
Okay.
We talked about the large capacity,
Mm-hmm.
but they also say it's optimized for efficiency.
Okay, so it's not just
Like,
about
super important.
having a big battery.
Yeah.
It's about using that energy efficiently.
In getting that 250-mile range.
Right.
So it's about
So they've probably put a lot of thought into
maximizing every little bit.
the battery management
Here, look at
system, how it charges,
Yeah.
how it discharges,
Absolutely.
how it manages temperature.
So we've talked about the carbon fiber frame
yeah.
for its lightweight and strength.
Mm-hmm.
But the article also says
Okay.
that it gives the bike this sleek, futuristic look.
Right. So it's not just about performance.
Right. So it's not just about performance.
It's about aesthetics as well.
It's a very
the deliberate design.
deliberate design choice.
Yes. Yeah. And carbon fiber does have that kind of futuristic look to it.
Carbon fiber does kind of have that like
That high-tech look?
high-tech look to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Another key feature they highlight
Okay.
is the regenerative braking system.
All right.
Now, this isn't just about stopping the bike.
Right.
It's about recovering energy
Okay.
that would normally be lost as heat
Gotcha.
during braking.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're using the motor.
they point out that this not only boosts efficiency
Yeah.
and helps to extend the range,
To generate electricity.
but it also
When you're braking?
provides a smoother braking experience.
Interesting.
If you've ever driven an electric car,
Yeah.
you'll be familiar with that feeling of the
That regenerative braking feeling.
motor helping to slow the vehicle down.
Yeah. It's a different feeling than traditional brakes.
And so that's what's happening here with the regenerative braking.
They're capturing that energy that would normally be lost
They're capturing that energy.
and putting it back into the battery.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a really clever system.
And it also puts less wear and tear on your brakes.
Exactly. So your brake pads are going to last longer.
So that's another plus.
Yeah.
Now, moving on to kind of the user experience.
Yeah.
The Curtis One offers a lot of customization.
Yeah.
We're talking about options for different colors,
Right.
finishes, accessories.
So you can personalize it.
So you can really personalize this
Yeah.
machine.
Okay.
On top of that,
Mm-hmm.
there's a smart LCD display that gives you all your crucial riding information.
Uh,
And there's smartphone connectivity for things like navigation
mm-hmm.
and even in-depth performance analytics.
Okay.
So they're really going for this.
So it's a connected bike.
Connected, high-tech riding experience.
Yeah, very much so.
And
Ah.
it's not all about performance
Right.
and tech features.
Mm-hmm.
There's also an emphasis on luxury and comfort.
Okay.
The article talks about an ergonomic design
Right.
that's meant for long rides,
Okay.
a 32-inch seat height,
32 inches. Okay.
and premium materials
So that's
throughout the bike.
that's pretty standard seat height.
We're talking about leather,
Yeah.
polished,
So it's accessible to most riders.
even the suspension
Okay.
is described as advanced and fully adjustable,
All right. So you can really fine tune it.
allowing you to really fine-tune to the road conditions.
the bike's handling and
Yeah.
ride quality. Yeah. So they've really thought about comfort
To your liking?
as well as performance.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now the real test.
All right.
How does this thing stack up
Okay.
against the competition?
Against other electric motorcycles.
So the article provides a direct comparison
Okay.
with two other bikes,
Right.
the Zero SRF
Zero SRF.
and the Harley-Davidson Livewire.
Harley-Davidson Livewire.
Yeah.
So two pretty popular electric bikes.
The two pretty popular electric motorcycles.
Yeah.
And I think this comparison is really helpful
Okay.
in kind of understanding where the Curtis One fits
Cedar fits in the market.
into the market.
Yeah.
So let's start with motor power.
Okay.
The Curtis One
Mm-hmm.
is the clear winner here.
All right.
167 horsepower.
Yeah.
The Zero SRF has 110,
Fulton 10. Okay.
and the Harley-Davidson Livewire has 140.
So significantly more powerful than the other two.
So that
Yeah.
really kind of underscores
Exactly.
that this is a top performer
That's a performance machine.
when it comes to power.
Yeah.
And I think that also explains
It makes sense.
why it has a higher top speed
Yeah.
and quicker
The
acceleration
more power you have,
than those other bikes'
the faster you're going to go.
battery capacity.
Okay.
The Curtis One, again, comes out on top,
Correct.
16.8 kilowatt hours.
16.8 kilowatt hours.
So Zero SRF is at 14.4,
Oh, okay.
and the Livewire is at 15.4.
So again, a bigger battery
Dun,
than
dun.
the other two.
Slightly bigger battery,
Yeah.
which probably
This
explains
probably explains the range.
why it has the longest range.
Yeah.
And speaking of range,
Okay.
the numbers here are pretty telling.
All right.
The Curtis One, 250 miles.
250 miles. Yeah.
The Zero SRF, 161 miles.
161.
The Livewire, 146 miles.
Okay.
That's a big difference.
That's a huge difference.
Almost 100 miles
Yeah. Almost 100 miles more.
more range
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
than those other bikes.
Especially if you're planning on doing any long distance riding.
I think that's a key selling point.
For sure.
Top speed.
Okay.
Continuing the trend here.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis One, 170 miles an hour.
107.
Zero SRF, 124 miles an hour.
Okay.
Harley Davidson, Livewire 110.
So again, the Curtis One is the fastest
So again,
by a significant margin.
the Curtis One is the fastest
Yeah.
acceleration.
Okay.
They're all pretty close here.
All right.
Curtis One, 3.1 seconds,
3.1 seconds.
0 to 60.
Okay.
The Zero SRF, 3.3 seconds.
3.3.
And the Livewire actually beats them all
Oh,
at 3.0 seconds.
So the Harley is the quickest off the line,
But they're all
but they're all pretty quick.
super quick.
Yeah, you're not going to be disappointed,
You're not going to be disappointed with any of them.
no matter which one you choose.
Charging time on a level 2 charger.
Okay.
The Curtis One takes 2 hours to fully charge.
2 hours. Okay.
The Zero SRF takes 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours. All right.
The Harley-Davidson Livewire has level 3 fast charging capability,
Okay.
which isn't directly comparable
Right.
to level 2,
Different technology.
but it does
They're
offer
faster.
incredibly fast charging.
Yeah.
If you can find a compatible station.
If you can find a DC fast charger.
So
Yeah.
that's something to consider.
Okay.
And then finally,
All right.
the price.
The big one.
Curtis One,
Yeah.
$120,000.
$120,000.
The Zero SRF,
Mm-hmm.
around $19,500.
19,500. Okay.
And the Harley-Davidson Livewire,
Mm-hmm.
just under $30,000.
Okay, so the Curtis one
Oh.
is significantly more expensive.
Yeah, the Curtis One is in a
Wow.
completely different
It's in a different league.
league
Yeah.
when it comes to price.
It's a luxury item.
So the article kind of summarizes the comparison by saying that
Mm.
the Curtis One
Mm-hmm.
really excels in terms of power range
Mm-hmm.
and top speed.
Right.
The Zero SRF
Yeah.
offers a much better value for the money.
More bang for your buck.
And the Harley-Davidson Livewire
Mm-hmm.
offers fast charging
Okay.
and the recognition of a well-established brand.
Brand recognition.
But it does lag behind the Curtis one
yeah.
in terms of power and range.
In terms of performance.
So
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty fair.
That's a good summary.
Yeah.
Yeah. It highlights the strengths and weaknesses of each bike.
Of each bike.
Yeah.
Let's circle back
Yeah.
to the design and comfort
For
aspects
the Curtis one.
of the Curtis one.
Okay.
The article really emphasizes this futuristic aesthetic, and they talk about the sleek lines of the carbon fiber frame,
Yeah.
the aerodynamic shaping,
Mm-hmm.
the minimalist design.
Okay.
Even the LED headlamp is described as unique
Interesting.
and contributing to that, like
So they've really paid attention to the details.
modern high-tech feel.
Yeah, the little things that
Should-
make a big difference.
They've really thought about the look of this bike.
It's not just a functional machine.
It's not just about function.
It's a work of art.
It's also about form.
Yeah.
And they haven't neglected comfort either.
Okay.
They talk about the ergonomic design being intended for comfortable long rides,
Right.
the 32-inch seat height,
Mm-hmm.
the relaxed riding position.
Yeah.
You've got the foot pegs,
Comfortable for most riders.
the handlebars,
Yeah.
and even the lightweight frame
Mm.
should contribute to
Easier to
a
handle.
better handling.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we can't forget about the suspension and the
Some
braking.
important stuff.
So the fully adjustable suspension
Mm-hmm.
is designed to handle
Yeah.
all sorts of different road surfaces and riding styles.
Different conditions.
And then you've got the Brembo disc brakes,
Jumbo brakes. Okay.
which are top of the line.
Those are good brakes.
And those work in conjunction
Mhm.
with the regenerative braking system
To provide
to provide
maximum stopping power.
maximum stopping power and stability.
Yeah, you need good brakes on a bike this fast.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And then they also talk about the customization options.
All right.
You can choose from different colors,
Okay.
finishes,
Mm-hmm.
seat materials,
Mm-hmm.
handlebar grips,
So you can really personalize it.
accessories.
Yeah.
So you can really
Get your own.
make this bike your own.
Okay.
And finally,
All right.
the smart features.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the LCD display,
Yeah.
the smartphone integration.
Mhm.
They're not just about
Okay.
providing information.
Right.
They're about enhancing
Yeah.
the whole user experience,
You're making it more enjoyable.
making it more modern,
Oh, convenience.
more intuitive,
Yeah.
more connected.
More connected.
So let's talk about the advantages
All right.
and the drawbacks
The pros and cons
of the Curtis one
of the Curtis one. Okay.
based on this article.
All right. Let's start with the advantages.
So
Pros.
starting with the advantages.
What are the good things about this bike?
the pros?
Yeah.
What do they highlight?
The article really emphasizes the unmatched performance
Okay, yeah.
and power.
167 horsepower,
That 167 horsepower,
170 mile an hour top speed.
170 mile an hour top speed.
170 mile an hour top speed.
0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds.
0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
And then there's that exceptional range.
Get 250 miles.
250 miles,
Yeah,
which really sets it apart
that's a big one.
from a lot of other electric motorcycles.
It is. You can really go places on this bike.
You can really go the distance
You're not limited to just short trips around town.
with this bike.
Yeah,
The premium build quality
Right.
and the striking design,
that carbon fiber frame,
they're also big pluses.
the high-end materials. Yeah.
The extensive use of carbon fiber,
It looks good.
it just gives it this really luxurious
Yeah.
and high-tech feel.
It screams performance.
And then you've got
Uh-huh.
the advanced smart features,
Right.
and that relatively quick.
The LCD display,
Level 2 charging time,
smartphone connectivity.
just 2 hours.
Yeah, all those things add to the convenience and the
Yeah.
enjoyment of owning this bike.
Really adds to the practicality.
Yeah, for sure.
Now let's look at the other side,
All right.
the potential drawbacks,
The cons.
the cons.
Yeah.